where Indian government has issued executive orders requiring the microblogging website X to act on specific accounts and posts subject to potential penalties, including significant fines and imprisonment. Now, Indian government has asked X to block certain accounts, and X, on the other hand, has decided to withhold the accounts in India alone itself. Now, they further reached out and said that they disagree with these actions and maintain that freedom of expression should extend to these posts as well. So these are the latest inputs that we are getting in. Joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Pallavi. A very good morning, Pallavi. Big issue that has been escalated by Indian government, but on the other hand, X refuses to agree with the kind of actions. What more do we know about it, and what is expected out of this concern?
No, so Elon Musk had been asked this question a couple of months back, and he had said that everyone has a right to freedom of expression, and therefore the Twitter handle is something which cannot be can be acted upon. Well, to talk about this context, their periodic requests often go in from the government, especially on those accounts where they feel that they can flare up passions which can be provocative. And in this context, it's more specifically regarding the farmers' protest, and some of those accounts have either been suspended or withheld. Well, Twitter is expected to follow, and that's something which Elon Musk very categorically said about, that, I have to do my business, so I have to follow the laws of the country in which I operate upon. And therefore, in sync with that, these accounts were suspended. However, the X has also clarified that we don't agree with these decisions very often we have to take, but we have to follow the orders of the government of the country we operate in, because we also believe that there should be a freedom of expression, and withholding of accounts is something which we just cannot accept.
Right. Pallavi, also help us understand the fact that the Indian government has talked about potential penalties, including significant fines and imprisonment. Do we know more about these fines, penalties, or the actions, stringent actions that the Indian government proposes to X?
Not with tweaking of many rules. There are certain rules, they are IT rules, because there have been evidence, according to the government, where people have used the social media platforms to provoke situations, incite passions. In some cases, it compromises on the secular credentials. There can be a communal flare-up. And therefore, periodically, the parliamentary committees as well as the government representatives have been asking and meeting with the social media platform representatives. Not just Twitter, but Instagram, Facebook as well. There is this fear that there are a large number of young people who may get completely washed away or brainwashed by some of the provocative accounts. So these are those periodic rain checks which are always done by the government. The social media platforms have agreed, and also agreed with the government that yes, there are certain rules and do's and don'ts which need to be followed. But the contradictory stands, or rather I would say the dilemma of the social media platforms are always going to be this. Here you bring these platforms with an idea of freedom of expression where you can freely exchange your views. But on the other hand, how do you guarantee that those freedom of views are not misused?
Right. Pallavi, also help us understand that X has decided to withhold the accounts in India alone itself. One, are we looking forward to some specific set of accounts that are being targeted? And second, how will this be perceived by the users, the X users in India?
I mean, there are always going to be 2 points of view. There are always going to be people who agree that yes, some accounts need to be withheld or suspended temporarily because they are likely to incite passions. Let's talk about the farmers' protest, because many of the accounts which have been held are those who have been supporting the farmers' protest. We also know that many districts in Haryana, for example, the internet connections have been suspended, and the reason behind it is that the word of mouth publicity, there's rumor mongering, there's false information which is being spread. Any government of the day wants to stop that. That's also the reason why many of these social media accounts are also suspended, so as to ensure that wrong information or provocative information doesn't spread easily.
Right, Pallavi, thank you so much for bringing in all those details. Clearly, X is disagreeing with the actions that have been proposed by the Indian government, but has also said, on the other hand, to withhold certain set of accounts, especially in India alone. But now we are